tech is a tool, right? And like all tools, we need to know how to use it in order for it to be used effectively. So if we are to use tech to enable better outcomes, it certainly has the capacity and the potential, but it has to be intentional. We need to be in charge of how we use technology, because technology is being used for a lot of things now. We live in a digital world, it's a digital economy, right? But the way the technology is being largely used is to create more conveniences, is to bring about economic growth, is to bring about operational efficiencies. All great things, but not necessarily supporting the planet and the people for better.
Okay.
So the conversation is, how do we repurpose the role of technology in the society? That is a more important conversation.
Okay.
And I think technology can be a big part. So you've got clean technology companies that are supporting the advancement of environmental outcomes. And you've got more and more data platforms and products that are coming in that could really shape the way in which the different countries approach their environmental outcomes. So I think it's a very critical component in meeting the sustainable goals, but not the only component, not the only tool. It's a tool that we need to use properly.
Okay, so which area would you say is the most important to focus on? Electricity, transport, industry, buildings, food?
So I think it's all of it. It's a holistic system. So even though certain sectors emit more emissions than the others, we live in a world where all these different sectors are connected, right? Like food's connected. So you've got the production, the distribution, and the consumption. These three big cycles are intersecting all industries. And in order for tech to enable better production, better distribution, and better consumption, better meaning more sustainable, we have to focus on three things. First thing is making sure that we've got a very good open ecosystem of data.
Okay.
That is environmentally centered. And once we have that data, then can we use analytics using technology to create analytics that allows us to gain insights from that data to enable more sustainable, again, production, distribution, and consumption. The second thing we need to do is to make sure that we're using technology to influence consumer behaviors and market behaviors towards more sustainable outcomes. Again, along those three lines, right? So shifting our consumer behavior, shifting our market behavior on how do we produce in a more sustainable way, how do we distribute in a more sustainable way, and how do we consume in a more sustainable way. That includes influencing applications that involve nudging, as an example, blockchain to have better tracking of supply chains, for example. And the last piece is capacity building. Right now, a lot of governments, a lot of organizations, they want to do better, they want to use technology to do better, but they don't have the right capacities. They don't have the right skill sets. So we need to also make sure that we are bringing forward those right skill sets so they can effectively use technology. And they, more importantly, know how to use it. So those are the three sorts of, I would say, important ingredients, both in the strategy that UNEP is taking, but also globally in how we need to think about repurposing the role of technology to enable better outcomes.
All right. And where do you see the world in 2030 being with these tools as help?
I think because it's a systems undertaking, you're working with multiple different sectors and you're working with the core sort of production, distribution, consumption cycles. It will take time, but it's about incremental progress.
Okay.
Like, are we shifting today for the better than we were yesterday?
Okay.
And I think we are. Right? I think globally we are, and I think we will continue to be. More important, I think, question is, how do we ensure that we do it in a way that is equitable across the world?
All right.
So certain countries who are not contributing as much to the global problems, generally who are also economically disadvantaged, can we make sure that they are given the right capacities, the right support systems to also benefit from these advancements? So I think globally we will continue to progress. By 2030, I think we will and we should make progress. But how do we do that in a way that is equitable? Can we do that in a way that is equitable, that doesn't make the disparities across the world worse? You know, so that not one country is benefiting more than the other just because they're economically privileged. I think that is very important to ensure, so that we collectively progress, not just one country progressing and the other country is not.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Shivam Kishore.
Thank you. Absolutely. So nice to have you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.